Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anna, and after well over a decade in America studying and working, I have finally returned back home to Norway, where I have bought an old house from the 1960s with a yard that is quite large for being in the middle of a city. But the yard has long been neglected and needs of a dire attention, and I'm looking forward to restoring it and making it into a wonderful garden that I can enjoy, that bears fruit and vegetables and has a lot of wonderful flowers for both my enjoyment and for the benefits of the nature and all the wildlife around me, which I hope will come here to my garden. So come along, follow along with me as I take on this journey of never truly having done anything yard, garden, or planting related, so it will be a very interesting experiment. I look forward to learning as I go along and taking you with me. But first, let me do a little bit of a walkthrough of my yard, the garden as it stands right now, and some of the small things that have been changed since I bought the property.
So this is the current state of the property, and there is a lot of work to be done, especially out in the garden, but a lot of fun stuff coming, and there are a lot of different flowers and varieties of berries and fruit trees that are already here, which is absolutely lovely and makes me very, very excited. So here is a patch of strawberries that have been planted out. Are my strawberries together with some flowers here and there, and lots of bees and all kind of lovely creatures buzzing around. And these are four berry bushes. They have been cut at least once before, just to get new growth going, and already created these, but we'll be remaking that this year to make a long one between all four to make it easier to take care of them. And already we've got some berries coming. And I should have put on my sunglasses because the sun is finally coming out after days of rain. Here we have more of these lovely, and lots of grass that needs to be cut, hopefully today, because it is supposed to be dry today up until 6 p.m. Then here, this one is quite large and has quite a lot of berries on it already. Cannot wait to see these ripen red and to eat them and make a lot of good stuff. This one here is, of course, behind some of these trash buckets, so those who are going to be moving and redoing things here, along with taking down these and replanting with other things. And then this is the property as one comes into the yard and into the driveway. I am surrounded by neighbors on all sides, so it is a little bit tricky making some of these videos and making sure that I don't actually show you all my neighbors, because I don't think they'd want that. So this one, I have no idea what kind of bush this is, what it's gonna flower like or anything. Looking forward to seeing what it becomes actually this year. And then these are gonna be replanted elsewhere because these are so gorgeous. But here gonna be planting green bushes to make a green fence away from the cold and the neighbors, giving the place some privacy, because right now it's very, very open on all sides. Of course, took down some of the old privacy bushes because they were too large and they were scattered about, but we'll get to put in some small ones in a row to actually make a fence. Here are some tulips that have not come up because of cold and probably because of the wind that is coming from this side, and which is another reason why it's going to be good to put in a privacy fence here. And then some of these bushes that have been just too large, so trying to get them to a more manageable state and have them regrow and get them to a level that is going to be not too high and not too crazy. These have also been cut previous year, so hoping for some new growth, which is coming along but slow, to have it over more bushy, small, manageable bush instead of a huge tree as it was before. And then some of these tulips that were planted out 2 autumns ago, that not all of them have come up, especially on the other side of it, because of the wind and the cold that's coming from that side. Here, same thing. Some of these have just been too big, as you might see from this one, that have been cut. But also this one has not been growing out, no new growth coming from it. So we'll be cutting that down just to get of a more manageable size bush, and also try to get something that's going to be more bushy and pretty. And here at some point there were tulips underneath all of this weed, so you can actually eat this type of weed that I don't remember the name of right now, but it is very good at expanding and taking over everywhere else. So that is on the agenda for the time being, to clean all of this up and get it to a position that is going to be manageable and that I can actually see where are all the tulips that I planted. And there is a rose somewhere behind there, along with these 3 alliums, though only one seems to have come up. And of course, all over here there are also chives and tulips somewhere buried underneath. And then there is this entire plot that has not been cut. The grass has not been cut, so that's the first on the agenda. And then getting everything else done, and figuring out where to grow what and what to plant and where. For now, this patch in between all the weeds and the grass has some strawberries that need to be moved to their own space, which needs to be created first. along with this fun patch of temporary flowers and irises and lilies and everything else. It's kind of a let it grow patch, and then we will be moving it to where it needs to go, along with all of these different things here. Basically, it's a lot of grass that needs to be cut and figured out. So these three will go. These three will be demolished in the near future, and tiny new ones are going to be planted in a row to make the green fence. And all of these dead ones are old ones that have been removed, that I have removed already because they were huge and scattered all over the place in the garden. Look at how far they are from the actual fence, which needs some cleaning and repainting before a new patch of a new row of green fence are going to be put up here. And over here, all of these that have been taken down because they were just too far and too big and nobody was actually making a fence out of it. And then this is an apple tree that does not produce very big apples, and they're mostly for bees and other kind of birds. Before we actually get to a very delicious apple tree that is very old and needs some attention, have been cutting down some of the branches, especially the dead ones and dry ones, to get some new growth, and also restructure it so it doesn't actually go out on the neighbor's side and is not too big for what it needs to be. Over here, more edible bushes, though these are now don't have too many berries on them just yet and need some attention, along with this wonderful rhubarb that has been flowering because got to it too late, so this has to be cut down, and we'll see if we can have some rhubarb next year. Lilacs, a huge lilac tree that has also been cut down to a bit more appropriate and manageable size, and smells divine if you could only smell it through the camera. Before, there is a plum tree over here that has been getting some attention. Here, this is from the previous owners that did a too thick cut, and it has been producing some plums, but not too many, though we are promised some more plums this year. I'm gonna show you somewhere over here. Here, there they are, along with yet another apple tree, a little bit different than the other one, but also in dire need of attention, and a pear tree that has been receiving some attention, but still the shaping of the trees take time. It takes years and constant attention. Should be having maybe some pears, maybe not a lot, but we'll see. Here is a patch of strawberries with a lot of daffodils that need to be removed before anything can be done, but hopefully some strawberries. These, of course, are most likely not gonna come true because they're black inside. The frost got them, so unfortunately might have some strawberries, but not a lot. And then some onions or garlic in between that I don't actually remember which is which. There are also right there before the neighbor's green fence some more berries. This time it's raspberries that are also overflowing with weeds that need to be removed and extended potentially, but there should be some berries coming this year. And then there's this side behind the house, which needs a lot of attention, but it's collected stuff for other projects, for planting out in those boxes or for filling up the warm beds for veggies for next year. So a lot of this stuff is going to come in handy. This is from an old terrace that has been changed out, not by me, that was other people that I hired to do because I wasn't sure if I would be able to just yet. Maybe if I had tried and waited, I would have tried to do it myself, but you never know. And then, of course, while there are a lot of weeds and grass all around, there are some lovely flowers that have been coming up. All wildflowers, all lovely. Would love to keep, but not entirely sure if that's going to be feasible. Here's some more peonies, and then some berry bushes, allium, more peonies, some tulips that I planted out, and some more peonies. These peonies were found on the property and were just cleaned up, dug up, cleaned up, and repurposed all across because the place it was and was just overgrown with a lot of other things, so it didn't actually grow or have a very good space for it. So yeah, lots of projects ahead, lots to do, lots of things that I want to get done, and we'll see what happens.
I look forward to welcoming you along on this journey and hope you will come with me. Subscribe, and I will see you along. Thanks.